right, so what we've done is I have flipped the frame over. So this is actually the bottom of the frame right here, which hopefully you'll be able to see pretty well. I have stripped all the upper pieces, the shock mount and the steering box mount, which is just super heavy duty. In fact, this whole frame front section is very strong because, of course, it held the whole suspension as well as all the steering components. So it needed to be strong, but now with this independent front suspension that I'll be mounting on the frame, it actually doesn't even need to be anywhere near as strong as it is, but we do want to use the frame. So we had done a bunch of measurements and found, even though the frame is quite a bit bigger, width-wise, thickness-wise, than would fit in here, we feel that it will work well. So what I've done is, having flipped it over, I took a piece of paper. Actually, it's a recycling leaf bag, paper bag. And what I did was I laid it on top of the frame, the frame we want to eventually adjust, and I've shaped it out, starting with the front point here, lined up there, and then cut it to match the steel frame that we're going to end up cutting. And I was able, actually, the benefit, of course, this isn't super precise, but we need clearance of more than 1 millimeter anyways. So we kind of cut it out, and then there's these 2 bolts that are part of the suspension, which were welded into the original frame, which are good kind of reference points for this template. So it's cut around the edge, and now what I've done is I have marked out the middle of the frame. Now it's going to create a bit of movement. It's just paper. It probably would have been better to have a hard bit of press board or something. But this will at least give me a starting point to move towards the front suspension and decide how this shape will then fit into the front suspension, which has to make clearance for the steering box and also for the shock towers. But there'll be more sort of notching into the main frame, as you'll see right here. Here's the original frame right there. And you'll see also here in the suspension that we'll have to make clearance on this edge here on the shock tower. This is where the rubber mounts are, right here. And then we'll also have to make clearance around the steering box. And so that's what we're going to do now, is we'll cut the paper out to give us a sense of the shape of the frame. And then we will match it up to the suspension that we want to mount on it, and just cut pieces out of the paper and just sort of move them back and forth as a way of gauging what we want to cut out of the frame. And then we'll triple check and do a lot of measurements, but eventually we'll end up notching the very heavy duty frame to make clearance for the Jag suspension. All right, that's where we're at right now. Boy, see y'all later. Yeah.